running fans, jumping fans, stalling fans, all around athletics fans. Welcome to Talking in Ovals. How's everybody doing out there on this Monday, October 21st, 2024, episode number 111? My partner in crime over there, Dave Hyatt. What's up, brother?
No, I'm getting very excited about our gala event that is coming up that we will be live at.
Yes, we'll talk about that real quick before we jump in. Let me do my little preamble here, Dave. Getting ahead of us. If you like what you see, like what you hear, like, share, follow, subscribe. If you're over on YouTube, X, Facebook, regardless where you're watching, smash the like button, subscribe, follow, repost, all that good stuff. And, we can grow, get bigger, have more people see our awesome guests. And then, go follow us on all the socials at Talking in Ovals. Giving a shout out to our buddy again, Adam Nalvin, third annual River Rock and Run 5K, quickly approaching. Saturday, November 16th. You could still go on the Facebook and sign up, run the new and improved 5K course, where you can either run two people, hand off the baton after each running a mile and a half, which is cool because you get a baton in a 5K, or you can run it solo. All the money that they make from that is going right towards Fulfill for the Monmouth and Ocean County Food Bank right before Thanksgiving. And post-race, you can enjoy some drinks and some good food. So go sign up for that. Go support that. It's an awesome event. And yes, what Dave was talking about, if you want to mark on your calendars, 7 o'clock, October 30th, there is the Staten Island Running Association Marathon Week Legends Dinner Gala that we were invited to go and do a live show from. We will be there. We'll be chatting about the event. We'll be walking around, interviewing some of the legends, a few of the legends that are there. Bill Rogers, Dave Waddle, Bob Beeman, Jim Spivey, Matty Centrowitz Sr., Joan Benoit Samuelson, just to name a few. So they are the creme de la creme of track and field are going to be there. So definitely go mark it on your calendars. That is October 30th. So 9 days away, we will be live at that gala. So we're excited for that. But Dave, I want to bring in our guest for tonight because I'm excited to have her on. She is an absolute beast of a sprinter in high school, one of the fastest young ladies in the country right now. She is Keelan Wright. I want to know if I'm saying this correctly, Keelan. Chaparral High School, was that correct? No, you there, Keelan?
Chaparral.
Chaparral. There, I did it wrong. Okay, Chaparral High School. She's a sprinter there.
Yeah, Chaparral.
Okay, and she is the 100 and 200 meter champion of last year's Arcadia event, and she took fourth in the 200 at the Nike Outdoor Nationals. Keelan, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm very excited to have you on. I think Dave froze over there. Let me just say, I think you're frozen. Let me communicate with Dave. Yeah, I think Dave froze. He's in a nice little pose right there. Up, and Dave's gone. It's just us right now, Keelan. Dave will be back. But we're excited to have you on. I think that you are poised to have such a fun year this year, just seeing like all of your results from, last year and things like that. So I want to jump into the question that we ask all of our guests every single episode. What gave you the spark to really start pursuing and really become a runner? Because, I like to say typically sprinters have options. Most of your sprinters are good athletes in other areas.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, you've decided to jump all in and you're fantastic at it. So what made you get the spark to want to be a sprinter and like jump all in and do it?
Um, I mean, like if I'm being honest, um, like long distance events aren't really like my thing. Like never really piqued my interest. Um, kind of just stayed with like the shorter sprints.
I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
always good. And I don't blame you. I ran distance and I don't blame you for not wanting to. If I was fast and had, a good burst, I definitely would have ran shorter. So, but you have some great times under your belt. Um, when did you say to yourself that you wanted to make track the thing that you do? Because you're going to go on, you're going to run major Division I track. When did you decide that that was going to be the career path that you want to follow as an athlete?
Um, I think
Oh,
once like probably in high school.
Keelan, I
Once I
think you're
started
going
to
in and
see
out a
like
little
the
bit.
my goodness. Oh no.
Oh, are you there, Keelan? I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Dave's out and Keelan's going in and out. We're going to power through. It's all good, Keelan. You don't have to stress. So let's see if we can figure something out here. Keelan, can you hear me on your end?
Wait, can you hear me?
All right. It looks like we are having some technical difficulty. Sorry for everyone out there that's watching. This is the beauty and the trials and the tribulations of doing a show that is all internet based, that is based on internet connections. Sometimes they are incredibly faulty, and we can have things like this. So I know Keelan seems like she's doing her best to try and get linked in. Keelan, if you are back at any point, you can completely and totally interrupt me and let me know that you are back as we wait on Dave to potentially jump back in. Because when these things happen, this may end up being a situation where we have to jump back on tomorrow. And if that's the case, I have no problem jumping back on tomorrow. But overall, hey, it's just me now. Okay, so Keelan hopped out. So while we're just hanging out, I want to talk to everyone in, watching right now on X, watching right now on YouTube. There's been a lot of good moments in cross country. Right now, I just saw the update from Nuttycombe. There was another course records set. Let me go take a look at Flow Track real quick, because Flow Track, I believe, had the Nuttycombe race. Oh, I think Keelan's back. Keelan, you back?
I'm back.
Hey, there you are, Keelan, and we can see you too.
Hey.
That's even better. What's going on?
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. So now that I have you back, I was just about to meander on and just stream of consciousness there to get it for a little bit. But so back to my question there. You said it was jumping in and out. So when did you get on track with saying like, hey, sprinting's what I want to do. I want to be a runner and I want to do this in college and hopefully beyond as well. When did you get in that mindset?
To be honest, it was actually quite recent, like within like the last maybe like I want to say like 2 years, because I think sophomore year I kind of got like discouraged like after like my injury and stuff. So I was like, well, junior year like I like have to make a comeback. So it was kind of more so on the, well, if I'm going to really like push myself junior year, like get some good marks, stuff like that, then I really want to like just go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was like kind of recent. Like when I started track when I was like 8, that wasn't really like the goal, but like it definitely like got more serious as I kept going.
Did you do any other sports before track? Like were you doing other sports as well?
I did for like a little bit. I did like cheer, soccer, basketball, dance, but then like
a little
bit of everything. Track just kind of stuck. So
and you mentioned like you need to have a big year. You had a big year in a big way, because I mean Arcadia is a massive early meet, and you went in there and you were like on the radar because people knew you were good sophomore year, and then you had your injury, that kind of, but there was a lot of potential, right? And you probably heard that a ton after the injury sophomore year, like keep your head up, you have potential, whoa, all that good stuff. But then to come in, you kick in the door, you win the 100, and then in the 200, if I'm not mistaken, you weren't going to be in the final, like the main heat. There were a bunch of scratches, and then you went in and you ended up winning it.
Yeah, I was actually. It's like it's a whole thing. Like after the 100, I was on the field for like at least 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And once I like went back to the tent to go check in for the 200, they were talking about my uniform and like how like it's against like the rules or something to like
Was
not
that
have
when you were in the pink one and everything?
yes,
Which is a
not
dope
have,
uniform. I love that.
Yes, to not have like your midriff out, but like nobody told me that in like almost the hour after the 100 I was still on the field until right before the 200. And so they were like, well, if you don't change, then you're gonna get disqualified. And I was like, well, I don't want to run and like get disqualified, but I just ended up running anyways, and they didn't disqualify me. So
It's really happy to know that officials are like that everywhere. Like Dave and I are both from Jersey. I'm
Yes.
living in New York right now and everything. It's nice to know that it doesn't matter where you are. The officials, number one, are disorganized, and we love our officials. They're the greatest. They're the reasons why we have track.
mhm.
Without them, we couldn't do it. But they're not always on the same page, and
Yeah,
they nitpick you about the smallest things. Like, I'm sorry, it's track and field. You're mad about my little bit of midriff showing. Like,
yeah,
I'm
And
trying to wear as little as possible to get no constriction, and you're telling me I can't
yeah,
have a
well,
midriff? Like, get out of here.
yeah.
in New Jersey too, a lot of them are a little up there in age too, so that kind of they're not really down with what's
hmm
currently trending or whatnot. So I have seen that at some meets where we are too. Like they're big
hmm
here on not cursing. Like if you curse here, you're disqualified.
I wouldn't have survived in this generation on the track the way I was. But you guys seem much more nicer in this generation,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
like we were. So that happens. I want you to now go through a little more of, you said you started running in 8th grade. That's when you started competing?
Ooh,
When I
Or
was
8
eight.
years old? 8 years old.
8.
Okay.
Okay.
8 years
Yeah.
old. So give me some of your favorite memories of running from being an 8-year-old up until now. What are your favorite memories that you've had?
Um, I think some of my favorite memories would definitely be in like youth track. Whenever we'd be traveling everywhere, staying in hotels, like all that, and
That's fun.
also like going to the like Junior Olympics. It was kind of like
Mhm.
a bittersweet
Yeah.
moment for me in like 6th or 7th grade because I was leaving. Because I'm actually from Texas, so I was leaving Texas and like
Wow.
all of my friends and everything like that, and going and coming to California. So it's kind of like bittersweet. Like we did good at JOs, but then like at the same time, like I was leaving everybody.
Right.
So it's kind of like a moment that like always remember, but it's like also was like it was
Uh,
fun too.
listen,
So
as a sprinter, you can't ask for better than to go from Texas to like two absolutely
Honestly.
amazing sprint
yeah.
powerhouse states, Texas and California, where it's warm and you can just let it go.
So
Mhm.
what is the youth track scene like in like Texas and Cali? Because Dave and I struggle because we want to start and we want people to start like youth track programs here in the Northeast, and it's hard. Like there's football, there's soccer, there's all these other leagues, but there's no track. You'll get some distance running groups and like not like a track group where they're like, we have one over here in Poughkeepsie by
There
me
are some,
that's
they're just
really good.
harder
There's
to like.
some, but they're
You
not
have
as
to really
ubiquitous.
search. Yeah.
And there's no like national program. Like when I was growing up, there was Pop Warner. Now AYF is massive for football. Like there's usually a governing body. What was that scene like over in Texas and stuff for you?
For me in Texas, the area that I was at, it was actually really big, especially like
Yeah,
during
sure.
the time that I was doing it in like
Right.
2015. Um, like I ran for Texas Storm, but like the bigger group was called Track Houston, and they had
No,
people
they're huge.
literally everywhere, like actually everywhere. Like at track meets, it would be like just heats of Track Houston. Like it was crazy. Like they even had like some like North Texas teams too. Um, but it's kind of I think it's more so just the area. Like Houston is a big area, so like especially like in the track scene for youth track, it's like a good community, I
Yeah.
guess, for it. But like in California, they I think they were like the main one was the area that I live in, Temecula, or like Temecula Time Machine. But and I trained with them for like maybe like 2 weeks before COVID, and then like it just like everything just like shut down, so it's not
Yeah.
really like that big anymore. But they have like there's this new one in Menifee. They're called like the Mustangs, but and that's like up and coming and stuff. But I just don't think like I don't think youth track is more so like as big as it used to be.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
more so now like private trainers and everything like
Yes.
that.
Private coaches. Yep.
So I'm curious though, did you say the Temecula Time Machine? Because that is such a sweet name. They need
Yeah.
to bring that back. Like that's awesome. Those uniforms had to be real sick. Like with just a
Yeah,
time machine hanging out.
they're all blue. They're all blue.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I
They
would
should
love
have the flux capacitor on their uniform from Back to the Future.
that would be fun. But you know what though, Dave? The thing is, most of the kids need to know what Back to the Future is.
I know.
You learn
I'm old.
Back to the Future.
I'm old.
I've seen like maybe on like movie days in class, like the
Yeah.
teacher will put it on, but like
That's
I've
a good
never
teacher
watched
right
it.
there.
Our greats have become boring movie days. Oh man. So I want to hear a little bit more of your memories. What was it like as you were like getting into high school? Obviously, we could talk about your junior year, but did you have any like because you obviously were, good enough, enjoyed it enough to continue to do it from 8 years old, and now you're a senior and things like that. So what other memories you got? Throw them at me.
I'd say like probably freshman year. It was like at my old school. It was like a big, I don't want to say like a big shift, but it was like a good change of pace. But it also kind of reminded me of youth track, because in youth track it was like it was always like a big group, and like at the school that I went to, it was a big group. So it was also more so on like if you know what you're doing, then you'll be fine. But like if you don't know what you're doing, then like it's a little bit like confusing, I guess. But it was fun. I still have a lot of I mean, they're off at college now, but a lot of my friends that I made freshman year in track, like I stuck with them like the whole 4 years, or like my whole 4 years, their whole 3 years. Even though I like moved schools, like we still talk and stuff like that. But I think one of my like main memories from track, I would say freshman year, was probably at our masters meet, the meet before state, where like all the sections in California come together.
Yeah.
We were doing a 4x4, and by the end of the season we were like super tired. So we get in like our little heat lined up for the 4x4, and everybody's just like, oh my god, I'm so tired, I just want to go home. Blah, blah.
Nobody ever
And
wants to
then-
run 4x4. Nobody wants to run the
Yeah.
4x4.
And so that meet, it was just terrible. We were all so tired, and then our handoffs were like actually terrible. I think like two of the girls on our team like fell trying to get the baton.
Ouch.
And I was like, man, that's not it. But like it was like, it's still like something that I don't take for granted. Like it was still like, as tiring as it was like also fun, because like you're still doing it with friends and everything like that. But like I still remember it to this day.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So I'm curious. I have a friend that's over in Porterville. How close is that to you in Temecula?
I actually don't know where that is.
Okay, California is massive. So I didn't know if you knew of it, but it's someone. She's like a fast 800-meter runner, and she's a friend of the family. So I didn't know, because I was going to be like, "Hey, go tell her hi if you see her." But obviously, you may not. But I mean, it's so funny, just the memories. And Dave, we always talk about this. The fun memories always come from relays, good and bad.
Yeah, they always come teammates. Yep,
always come with teammates. So I want to specifically now talk about last year. I want to talk about your breakout season.
Yes.
What do you feel was the catalyst, the precursor that made you really drive to race as good as you did? Because again, we talked a little bit earlier, like it was a lot of potential after your injury. And what was your injury sophomore year for people that don't know?
It was I mean, I thought it was a second grade hamstring tear, but apparently it was a third. But like how like fast I healed from it, I thought it was a second, but it was basically a hamstring injury. It had me out for about, like, not doing anything, I say like 2 weeks straight.
Hamstrings are tough. Hamstrings are tough.
I mean, that's your starts right there. That's you're pulling all that. You can't not have your hamstrings. Like that's big.
Yeah.
So that's tough.
Yeah. Was there anything that you did differently going into last year, or do you think that you just matured and just kept on working with the same program, or did you like do anything different? Because I mean, you were great as a sophomore, but last year you had a really big breakout year.
I definitely matured, but I also was doing a whole bunch sophomore year, like the summer, just to like the summer before junior year, just to like make up everything that I lost. Like I was doing summer meets, like training, like since school ended, so like
Yeah.
June. So like I was pretty much training that whole year, like from June to all the way to June again to Nike Outdoor. So
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's a season like in Cali? Because
Yeah.
indoor is massive over here in the Northeast. Like I said, I'm in New York. I grew up in Jersey. Dave's in Jersey. We
Indoor
have
track is big.
indoor season's a long season for us. Have you ran an indoor race yet?
I haven't ran any yet, and I don't like plan to like run any until like January.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I know like winter indoor starts in like about November, December, where
Yep.
they do the outside or like the indoor metrics outside.
Yeah.
Um, when it's like kind of cold and all that, but I
Are
don't
there
like
indoor tracks out in California?
no,
No, right?
no.
I didn't think
Closest
so.
one was in New Mexico in Albuquerque. Is that probably like the closest for you guys?
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
there's gonna be one in Vegas
There
soon.
is going to be one in Vegas. We interviewed the gentleman, Zig Ziegler's, the Athlete Village.
Indoor
We'll be-
400-meter track.
Yeah, with the 200 that they could put in the infield.
200-meter track. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it's way different here. Like here, the indoor season is big, and you run meet after meet on the 200-meter track. And then I always find it funny because then come indoor nationals, and you have everybody from Texas and California who haven't run indoor all year come
Yeah.
in and just boom, just
Yeah.
come in and run their 55, real fast. So it's almost like it's the same country, but it's almost like two different worlds of indoor track because you guys don't run indoor at all. You
Nope.
guys don't run on 200-meter tracks.
Nope.
So here's an important question for you. When did it click last year that you were getting or going to start getting national attention? And like, okay, was it after Arcadia? Was it going into it knowing you were going to run fast? Like, when did it click? And what was that like when you're sitting there and it's like, oh, the coaches from all the major SEC schools, all the Big 10 schools, they all know who I am.
That's
And like,
cool.
when did that click that you're getting national attention?
I think it was actually even earlier than that. I actually have the shirt on right now. It was Spokane when I
Okay.
ran the 7:31, and I like my first text like from a coach was University of Florida, the
Good one.
Gators, and I was like, okay, so this is about to be hectic.
Yeah, good for you though.
Yeah, that's and
Yeah.
what was that moment like when you're sitting there, you get a text and it's like,
University of Florida. I mean, that's a
this
big time
is
program.
one of the best programs in the country, an
Yeah.
SEC school. Like SEC schools are no joke. They're all sprinting monsters. So what
Yeah.
was that moment like? Did you like sit there and like find your parents, like screenshot it and send it to all your friends? Like, what did you do?
I would have.
Hell yeah.
I was actually in like my hotel room with my dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, my dad, he was actually like, "You're about to get a lot of attention," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, really? You think so?" And then, and then like that night, I got a text from the Florida coach, and I was like, "Okay, so like this is where it starts."
Now, do you like all that attention? Do you thrive on it, or would you rather just be like, let me just make this choice? And like, is the college process hard? Like, does it consume you and like take focus away from where it needs to be, or are you able to kind of
Um,
focus and keep them in two separate lanes?
the kind of I try to separate them, but they
Right.
like
It's hard.
definitely mesh,
Yeah.
especially like at school, and like a lot of people from school like follow me on Instagram and stuff like that, and they're asking like, Keelan, where are you going to college? Blah blah blah. And it's like it's definitely like hectic. I don't want to say it's like a hard process, but it's definitely like I don't want to say like
Yeah,
it's just hectic.
stressful. It's stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
okay. I mean, we've actually talked to a few seniors, and some of them choose to try to pick a place their junior year, so they have their whole senior year to just focus on that. Others wait because they're worried because there's so much college. The coaches are just there's so much turnover. They're leaving this school, going to that school, so a lot of them
Yeah.
are waiting till their senior year to make sure they coach.
Mhm.
Did any of that factor into choices that you've made, or were you just kind of just focused on what you had to get done?
I mean, it definitely factors. Like that's one of the questions like that I ask coaches whenever I like first talk to
Sure,
them.
you have to
I
now.
was like, "Are you gonna like be at the school in the next like
Absolutely.
5 years?" Like, because I don't want to go there and like you're not there. Like it happened to one of my friends. She went to one of the Cali schools for a high jump,
Hmm.
and like the coach that like recruiter her is like not there anymore,
Yeah.
and
That
I'm
sucks.
like, yeah, no,
That
Yeah,
ain't
no, I
flying
don't
for
blame you.
me. Nope.
yeah, man.
No, but to me, like that's an important question that you guys
Yeah,
have to ask coaches, because there is, I mean, maybe it's always been this way, but it just seems like there's so much turnover at college, like coaches leaving from this
mhm,
school, going to this school, and then these kids already commit, and they're
mhm,
like, do I change my whole school now? Do I follow the
yeah,
coach? Do I just go where I'm going? It has to be stressful. I mean, not just picking a college, making sure it's the right place, but all these other factors, plus having to train like a national elite athlete just to be able to compete is, I don't know
mhm.
how you guys do it, but kudos to you and your family, because it's it takes a whole village to work on this whole process. But at the end, it is your choice.
Mhm,
Absolutely. So, have you found yourself like, because obviously now as you're lining up and you're getting to these national level meets, the young ladies that you're competing against are potential future teammates, right? Because now all of you guys are running the times to get all these offers. Have you had any conversations with any of them where, like, everyone kind of shares, and like I do like the new social media thing where you get an offer, you put it out there, you thank the team, you thank the coaches for like, have you sat there and made any announcements or like slight like, oh, I'm getting interest from this team potential, and had any of the girls come up to you and be like, I'm going there, come to the school? Like, have you had any of that where they're like, come with me? Like,
yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. Especially
Sure.
like the like track friends that I've made, like
yeah.
not necessarily like going on the visits, but like seeing that we're like we're going to like the same schools for visits and stuff like that. They're like after the visit, they're like, "Oh, Keelan, how do you like your visit?" And then I'll see that they went, and I'm like, "Oh, how did you like your visit?" And then it's like, "Well, did you like it? Do you see yourself going there?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What about you? Do you see yourself going there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about it before."
The only advice I could say is take a moment to just take all this in,
Mhm.
because this is like people are recruiting you. They want you.
Hell yeah.
So that's just the cool thing. Like, that this might never happen again. And I know it'll never happen in my life, where I'm that one. So just take a step back and appreciate it, and like know your value, know what you bring, and know your worth, and make the right choice for you and your family.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So you announced your top three on Instagram, and this was, I don't know when it was. Let me see, on October 12th, so not too long ago. And first off, I want to congratulate you because they are three fantastic schools.
Thank you.
You're between Georgia, LSU, Texas A&M. Obviously, a little bit of going home there with A&M in College Station would
Oh
be
no,
cool.
it's it's South Carolina.
Oh,
South
South Carolina,
Carolina.
Texas. I
Yeah.
looked at the wrong thing. No, South Carolina. Wow. Sorry, Texas A&M. No,
Sorry.
you ain't getting Keelan. It's South Carolina. Sorry about that. No, okay.
And the
So
Gamecocks are a great program over
they
at
are a
South
fantastic
Carolina.
program. So you narrowed it down to those three. You're
Mhm.
going to make your announcement at some point. So here's my thing for you. What went into that process? Because you had obviously had a ton of schools going into you, really wanting you to come, offering you packages. What went into that process of eventually narrowing it down to those three, and how hard was it to sit there as you're getting down to the final group, going, oh, and like really painstakingly going through it?
Um, I think I don't want to say it was like necessarily hard, but it was more so on like I need to put how I feel aside for the moment and just focus on the logistics of it. Cause I did this for every visit I went on. I well my dad set it up, but it's basically like 12 categories and you like grade them. Um
It's really smart.
Smart.
yeah, and based on the grade you pick for each category, they'll give the school a score. And so I was kind of the those three schools are like the differentiation between them is like by 1 point, like one
Okay.
point, like one school is 1 point higher, one school is 1 point lower. It's like I kind of just had to be more so logistical about it before, like that'd be the first thing,
Yeah.
then like let it be more so of, well, my heart wants to go here, but
Sure.
it may not necessarily be like the best place for me. So it was kind of hard for me to like eliminate
Sure. Well,
UT Austin, but it was like, well, I mean, I scored it, and I think I scored it too much on like emotion. So
gotcha.
I was like, I think I need to go back and edit this. But yeah, I
That's
think
awesome.
I think it's like it definitely helped for sure.
Sure. Now, listen, kudos to your dad. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
First time
great
we've
dad
heard
there.
that.
You know,
Yeah.
that's a good parent there who really cares. You know, he's letting you make the choice, but he's helping you in ways to break down. Because if you didn't have that, you'd be like, it would probably make it so much harder. Like, I have no idea. But having that,
yeah,
at least you could say, all right, based on the criteria that we said, this school's out. I love that. And it has to be hard because you talk to these coaches, you build a relationship with these
yeah,
coaches. So having to say, hey, coach, I'm sorry, has to be hard.
And
yeah.
Dad, I don't know if he's gonna watch this or anything, but
He's
sell
right
that.
there.
What up, Dad?
Hey, Dad.
Sell that to the kids. They would love to have it, make it easier on them.
Yeah.
12
We can make money
categories.
off of that. Dad, we are
Yeah,
gonna
sell that.
monetize that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
my mom tells them to market and stuff, but they
Yeah,
don't want to do it.
it's great. I mean, because like I
Dad,
mean,
if you
so many
market it,
kids.
we'll push it on the show every week. If you want it, we'll push it. You can just get the people.
I'll email it to you guys.
Yeah, well, listen,
coach.
we'll give you all the credit. Well, you can get paid. We just want to push it.
I coach high school, and like that's the hardest part for some of these seniors is finding a way to narrow down, especially someone in your class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Dave froze again.
Oh shoot.
Maybe he'll come back. He's having some internet troubles, but I'm happy it lasted this long. So overall, when you were really looking at these schools, without going into like all the specifics, I don't want to give away Dad's trade secrets over there, but what were you looking for, like academically, athletically, socially, in these schools that kind of made you like narrow some downs? What were kind of the general things you were looking for?
So academically, it's been like such a long process of doing this since like summer, but basically like researching all the schools and seeing, one, if they have my degree, two, if they have the specific path that I want to take in my degree, and three, if they can do the master's program like at the school, or if like I have to like transfer to take the master's program. And then athletically, my main thing is progression, and like I think that's like a broad topic kind of, because it's like SEC schools blah blah blah, but it's like also at the same time it's like, can you progress every athlete, like not necessarily like just the good ones,
Yeah.
but even like the ones that like aren't like the, I don't know, like top.
The blue chip, like your top level, your 5-star, 4-star recruit type of
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, because my biggest school was, and this isn't like any like I don't have any like malintentions
No,
towards like,
not throwing any shade. Like, yeah.
yeah, I'm not throwing any shade against like one of the schools that I was like really really interested in, but I talked to like one of the athletes that's there right now, and she said that they don't necessarily like lift like freshman year, so she
Mm.
kind of like went backwards, and
Yeah.
I was like, well, lifting is like 50% of my program, so I can't go
Massive for
there and like
sprinters.
not lift any weights. So it's like, well, I think like I'm gonna have to like knock that one like off the list. So it's
See, that
kind of
would
like,
drive me crazy because, like,
yeah.
especially for freshmen, you want to get them into your lifting program
Mhm,
early. You want to get them acclimated and you want to teach them, okay, this is how we lift in college. And you have your
mhm.
strength and conditioning coach and things like that. To not, I mean, it's not like you're worried about a bunch of kids. They're now developed men and women. You're 17, 18. You should be able to handle a lifting program. That's weird. Maybe after the show I want to find out what school that is. After the show we can talk, because that's weird. I don't like
Yeah.
that.
And then kind of socially, I wanted to like, I mean, I'm kind of like a reserved person. I don't want to say shy, but I'm gonna just say a little bit like reserved in the beginning. Um But like I feel like once I get like comfortable enough and I see like everybody's personalities and how they like mesh with each other and stuff like that, then I can kind of not necessarily like mold myself, but more so as like, well, this is like an environment that I can be myself around. Like I see myself like meshing with these people,
Yeah.
and like coming to practice like every day and like seeing them every day, seeing them like at the dorms and stuff like that. So it's mainly like, can I see myself fitting into this team?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
fitting with these girls, fitting with these type of coaches and everything like that. So it's like there are like big parts that like you like shouldn't like overlook,
No.
but and like also have like some kind of perspective in like the fact that when you go like on the visit that it's not gonna be like that all the time like
Right.
at school.
They're rolling out the
Like,
red carpet for
They
you.
are.
You
They
yeah,
are
they're
making
rolling
it
it out. They're making it look
that is the
good.
best that it's going to be. Right
yeah,
there.
They're
like
making sure you
uh,
come on a certain day where the dining hall serving something good, so you can't see
yeah.
how trash it is all the
There's a
time.
football game going on. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, like
Exactly.
you're not like going to like a party like every
Right.
Friday, Saturday, you know what I mean?
No.
It's like it's just like something that's like something you just have to like keep in mind, because like I enjoyed like all of my visits, and like we did do things on the weekends, but I know like for sure that like they probably only do that with like recruits
Sure.
Mhm.
on like recruiting weekends. Like any other time they're probably like resting from practice and stuff like
Sure.
that. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, what is your major going to be when you go to school?
one more time.
What's your major going to be?
Oh, my major is psychology, but
Oh,
the area that I want to go into is more so on the clinical side. So that's how I mentioned like the masters, because
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
sure.
the PhD program, and mainly to go into clinical to do competency tests. Um,
Wow.
so it's like at first it was like criminal, but I was like, well, I can't do nothing with a criminal, a bachelor of criminology, so I'm gonna have to go change some. Um, but like psychology is like definitely something that's like piqued my interest in like just learning in general.
Yeah. I
Um,
I love how you have a plan on the
Yeah.
educational side too, because so many athletes of your caliber, they're like, "Oh, I'm just going to go pro or do that," and it very well could happen. But I love that you have a plan and that you're taking your and that your studies were just as big of a requirement for you as your athletic side. Kudos
mhm.
to you.
And I
That's
like
great.
to see that you have a track that you want to take with psych, because there's a lot of kids that are like, I'm going to be a psych major. I'm going to be a sociology major
Yeah,
and
But they have, yeah,
nothing else. Like you have a track. It's like, okay, I'm going to parlay psych into this, not just
yeah,
be a
yeah,
psych major. So
that's
that's
great.
awesome. That's really cool to hear. And, like Dave said, I love that you have a plan. And one of the things that I noticed about sprinters, you guys fall into like two categories. There's either like the super expressive outward ones, or there's ones that I could see you're very calm and cerebral. And I
yeah,
can see you just being like, there's the individuals that are hype and getting it going, and then there's
Yeah,
the ones that just come in and they're stone faced
yeah.
and they're
There,
getting
yeah,
in. And you
there's
only
Noah
see,
Lyles, and then there's Tobogo.
yeah,
yeah,
okay, yeah. And you only see like, and that you get those two types, and it's like obviously across the finish line, the emotion
Yeah.
comes out, right? Like
Mhm.
once you do something big, but
But
I
either
just,
way, it can be just as fast and just as competitive. It's whatever works for you as an individual, which is great.
so does that
yeah.
bother you at all when you have individuals that are like over the top, or can you just like cancel them out?
Um, I mean, I don't mind like people who are more outgoing. I think it makes for like a good contrast.
Mhm.
Sure.
But I don't think it necessarily like bothers me. I mean, like once we get on the line, is whatever. It's
As long
whoever's
as they don't hold up the gun. If they do something down there and now they're holding up the starter and everyone's set, it's like, all
yeah,
right, let's get it
like
going.
yeah. Once the gun goes off, like
Don't matter.
I don't care how loud you were at the beginning. Like
Well,
it's not like at that point, it's my race.
You're
It's
gonna be
not.
seeing my back. It don't matter.
that's what's great
Yeah.
about
Love it.
well, but that's what's great about this sport is, like in football, you could say, "Oh, well, my team won," but you could have done absolutely nothing, but no one would
Mhm.
know. But in track, it's like mono. Who is faster? Step on the line and let's go. That's it's the oldest thing in sports, and it's never going to get older because it's just the greatest, most purest form of competition.
Mhm.
See, Dave disagrees with me because I want more trash talk. I want more trash talk in running because I think trash talk gets the eyes to it, right? People like
It does, but
rivalries. Now, you're a little young. You're in high school. You're going to be in college. Once you become a pro, that's when I want to see a click in. I want you to find another woman and look and just be like, I don't know why, but I hate her. And now I'm going to talk trash and I'm going to
No.
make national news and then I'm going to beat her and it's going to get better.
Be Kenny Bednarik. Don't be like Noah. Be like Kenny.
We need more Noahs.
Smooth and calm.
We need more Noahs.
I love Noah.
I do. I
But
love them all.
he looked
I
dumb.
love
though.
them all.
I think there's like, it's not necessarily trash talk, but it's kind of like in that range. It's more so like when you're like on the line and it's like you ask like the person next to you, you're like, oh, what do you run? And they like say like this super slow time. And
You're
then like
Boom.
once they get to the line, it's like they like left you. And it's like, okay, well, why would you lie? Because now we have
Right. Now we got now you mean people trying to downplay like I've only
Yeah.
run
or they like
13.5 and
Yeah.
then they're running 11.2.
yeah, or they like or they try to like they try to like get on the line and then like they were like, oh, what do you run? And they're like, oh, I run like 11.3, blah blah blah. Then after the race, you see they ran like 11.7. Then you go look them up on Mile Split, and their fastest time was like 11.9. Okay, I'm like, okay, so
Why are you lying?
Because they're trying to get in your head, but you're not letting it happen.
But it's like,
You're like, you ain't getting my head.
You're trying to be friendly and like be like cordial at the line, like real quick, like, hey, good
Oh,
luck. What do you want to run? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like,
I would be like, what do you run? 11.41. How about you? 11.40. I would just say like
Yeah.
like 1/10 less just to scare them. Like 1/10.
it's like the difference too is like maybe don't ask like what they do run and just ask what their goal is. Like that, maybe do that from now on. Be like, hey, what are you trying to run today? Because
Yeah.
then, okay,
yeah,
cool.
I don't really talk on the line though.
No, I don't blame you. Don't talk. Don't
No,
talk. Stay stuck. Because you know what? I think not talking brings in more fear than other people because like, whoa, she's
Yeah,
ready to
like-
go. Because if you're out there
Yeah,
talking gabbing,
really
it almost
do.
looks like you're trying to make it look like you're calm when you're not. But if you're quiet and calm, you're just like, all right, because you're not calm. No one's calm. You're all nervous and but you're focused and you're able to channel that into something where you're not worrying about what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I've heard it like especially like a lot of times in like youth track, like some girls will be like talking to each other like on the line and stuff like that. And I'm listening, but like I'm not gonna chime in because
I feel like as a sprinter, I would have been like, once the heat in front of me left, we're done. I got to focus in.
Yeah.
I'm getting to my blocks now. I got to set them. Now I'm getting into my, routine before we have to get in blocks. Like before that, I'd still be locking in, but it would be like more just like walking by, like, good luck today. That's about it. Like even when as a distance runner, like when you're waiting for your heat, it was a little bit like, okay, what are you trying to run? The moment it was done, it was, quick little handshake. Good luck. Bye.
Yeah, or you could be like I was raised to only talk people face to face, but you're looking at my back, so we just can't have a conversation.
He was taught to see. Dave's 10 years older than me. He wasn't allowed to talk to other teams. His coach didn't let him talk to other
No,
teams.
we were singly focused, couldn't talk to anyone, which I don't do that now as a coach. I kind of like how there's a little more, kids talking. But when I was in school, I couldn't talk to any other team. I had to just talk to my team. It was pretty intense, but
I feel like
different time.
Got to be a good blend of both. And all the
There
people that we talk to, and I feel like you're exactly like this. You could be friendly all you want, but the moment that line hits, I got no friends. The moment I get on there, I have no friends. It's me, myself. I don't care if it's my teammate or my sister. I don't care who's next to me. I'm going to beat them and we'll be cool again later. Like,
yeah, if I'm being like completely honest, I'd say like I kind of like zone out like once I step on the track. It's like if we're on the field, like for a relay, for example, I'd be like, okay, good luck, guys, good luck. We got this, blah, blah, blah. Once I get on the line, I'm not talking to anybody.
No, good.
I like that.
I love that.
So educate some old men. What's on the pre-race playlist? Give us like your not just anything, but what are your go-tos that you have to listen to? Because I had some songs I had to listen to before I went out there. Period. What's them?
It's kind of updated now, but I had like a set playlist. It was like 40 minutes long, like the same amount of time as my warm-up.
Your warm-up, yeah, smart.
But it was like there's definitely some Yeet on there. There's some I think it's mainly definitely some future. It's
Any
definitely a whole
any
bunch of.
designer in there? If you have future in there, you gotta have some designer.
I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
There's definitely some bass though.
I like it. I like it. No, that's you might
No,
get some
but
criticism now for that. Some of the people listening
is
going, "Why does she have that on?"
Yeah.
warm up, but that's important. And I love how you made your playlist the exact length of your warm up, because then the more that you listen to it, you know, all right, I'm on this song now, so I should be
Mhm.
doing this drill or this. Like that's you have a setup there between you and your dad. I'm sure you're a coach. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Very
That's-
impressive.
So, what are your goals now as you enter in senior year? You came in, like I said, you were at Nike Outdoors, you were fourth in the 200. Um, what are your goals going into this year? Are you looking to, state championships, nationals? Because obviously you're looking at Nats, right? That's got to be in your sights. But what are your specific goals if you could state them now?
My specific goals for the 100s is 1096. And for the 200, my coach has me on like 22.8 pace right now, but definitely looking for like 22.7, 22.74.
And that'll put you right in there for the national title
Yep.
if you get those things.
So curious too. Did you guys? So was the choice to go to Nike's more location, easier to get over to Oregon, or would you consider going to New Balances or Adidas? Like, which one would you go to a different one now because you already did Nike? Is it like so? What is in the decision making with that?
Um, I think the only reason I went to Nike Outdoor was because it was for me. It was kind of like I mean, I think it might have been for like a lot of the kids, but it was kind of like a tryout for the Nike Elite team.
Mhm.
But I didn't do so hot at Nike Outdoor, so like I was then making stuff like that. But I think this year I might do New Balance. It wasn't necessarily location because I mean I don't mind traveling for track meets, but
That's a cool meet because that's at where the Penn Relays is.
yeah,
It's a cool
Field, yeah.
venue, man. It's
yeah,
a cool venue.
there was super fast times over there compared to Nike. So I was like, okay,
Yeah,
we can
it's
go
fun.
there.
I just wish as a fan that they would just have one national meet, but
I
I
know,
understand that every shoe company wants to
yeah,
make money and like get their little part of it. But I mean, because indoors everybody just goes to New Balance, But it's interesting how like even at the high school level we would have all this different meets and stuff because everyone's just trying to make money. But
So
yeah.
if
I didn't like the fact that Nike and New Balance were like on the same weekend.
yeah, and then Adidas was, I guess, 1 week late. I know it's
Yeah.
here in New Jersey. The problem has been that the state meet is on Thursday and the nationals are on Saturday. So we have kids missing the state meet who are going to that. It's been a mess.
So that's another question I have for you. In California, do you guys have one final overarching state meet where all the groups and sections come together and you crown like one champion? Or is it that you get to the Masters and that's it?
No, we have a state meet. It's like where all the sections of California come together. So like Southern section, San Diego section, LA section, like
Nice.
Northern California, all that, and they crown like I guess like one state champion. But it's kind of rigged. I don't want to say rigged, but it's like not necessarily like fair, I guess, because um the fastest time from like the Northern California section will be like a 12:2, but
Right.
like for Southern California section, you have to make it in order to make it the state, you have to run like a mid 11.
Yeah,
So
we have that same issue here in Jersey. Like it's
yeah.
because it's based on place and
Mm,
not on time. You don't always have the best of the best. Like because the sixth place or whatever, we take top six, but the seventh place person in one group could have won some other one, but the person who with the slower time goes because it's based on place.
mm, yeah.
So
And it's hard to like fix that because I know in like distance races, every race is different. So you can't say that they would have run this time, but sprinting it's everyone's running all out in 100,
Mhm.
you know.
But that's good. I like hearing that because there are
Yeah.
some states that have like no state meet and they're like stop at a certain point and they don't actually have a big overarching meet. So it is nice to know that Cali has that. I'm
Yes.
happy to know that. So I'm going to ask you the last question that we ask all of our guests or try to, because one of our main goals outside of talking to amazing athletes like yourself and every single high school athlete we've had has been incredible, yourself included. So we are definitely going to be massive fans of yours and now follow all of your success that you're
absolutely.
having this year. And if you do end up going to New Balances, hopefully we'll go get a table out there and do a live show and you can come hang out with us and talk to us there again. But one of our goals of this show is to make sure that we talk to enough people, we ruffle enough feathers so that when it is time in 2, 3, 4 years, when you're ready to go pro, that there is a legitimate pro circuit for you to go to. That when you're a pro athlete, it's not going to be based off of I need to get this shoe deal on pressure. No, we want you to be able to enter a league, get minimum payments, and be a legitimate pro. Like, make hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. Like
Like every other sport.
Like every other sport. That's our major overarching goal. If you could change something about track and field that would bring the casual fans in, that would make that possible for you guys, what would you change?
If I could change something about track and field in the pro circuit, it will honestly be like, I mean, it's kind of different, but like the same way how like NFL and like NBA players like get paid like just to play. I say like same thing, like at not necessarily just like signing with like Nike or Puma or Adidas.
Yeah, right. Guaranteed contracts. Guaranteed contracts.
I say I don't know how it would work, but like really just getting paid to just go run, but not necessarily like run for a company or like
a team.
Yeah, like have an actual league, like Michael Johnson's starting to start. So like you get paid by the league. It doesn't matter. Like in that league, we could have runners from Nike, Adidas. It doesn't matter, but we're in this league and we're getting paid by the league. What you get from your shoe company is separate, but you have a guaranteed contract in this league to compete.
Yeah. I think they just now changed it recently where you get like paid however so many tens of thousands of dollars to like get a medal, but like then if you don't medal, like you don't get paid. Like
a lot of times, or you might get paid off of like a certain number of places. Will get a few months. Like you might make your money back trip that you had to make to get out there. Like
and we want to make sure that these athletes, because we've had on pro athletes who struggle, like they have to choose to not work and to train and then not get paid, and we don't want that because track athletes work just as hard as any other sport, and you guys need to be paid as other athletes are.
Yeah, that's why that was mainly like my main reason that I didn't want to go pro. I was like, well, I don't want to keep running and I'm like 30 and I'm not getting paid. So
I agree.
That's why you see someone like Tyreek Hill, who was the national champ in high school, go play football because
Robert Griffin III was an Olympic level hurdler, 400-meter hurdler, and he was like, nope, I'm going to go play football instead. So I get it. So, Keelan, thank you so much for coming on. I'll let you go get lunch. You were gracious enough to come after practice and spend some not lunch. Go get dinner. Gracious enough to come after practice and talk to us. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you. And I'd like to thank Dad. You're doing an amazing job.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
You have a great daughter.
Wonderful daughter.
So once again, she's Keelan Wright. She's someone that you want to watch out for because as much as last year was a breakout, I think she's going to hit her goals and exceed them this year. So go look out for her. Chaparral High School over out in Temecula, California. 100, 200. And I saw on X that you had a goal time of 55 for the 400. Is that still a thing?
It's actually 52, but yes.
52. Nice. Let's go.
Let's go.
Right. So we're going to be seeing her. She'll be out at New Balances, and she's not just going to be there. She is going to be a threat to be a champion. So I'm excited to see what you do, where you go, how you succeed. So thank you so much for coming on. Go follow her. Follow her on Instagram. I have it on the screen here at Keelan Marie. Is that how you say it? Is it Emery? Emery? Yeah, Emery. Yeah, I can't pronounce anything. So Keelan Emery _ over there. And you can find us on the socials at Talking in Ovals. Thank you, everyone who's watched on X, Facebook, YouTube. Go do all the normal stuff. And we will be back next week with another